My Wi-Fi went out. Alright. Tedious, but worth it. Yes, the first prep in regards to the Glamour oil. Very, very, very tedious. Because you have to be very, very picky because this ingredient is highly polar. Highly, highly polar. I don't know if YouTube will let it on there with this background music or not, but it's basically just me getting the pedals ready. That's all. Just a very tedious process. It's a very tedious process. That you bet not mess up or you'll mess up all the oil. Why is my phone being so difficult? This is crepe myrtle. It's not just taking the greens off. You can't have any bruised petals. You can't have any scrunched up petals. They have to be as perfect as possible. Like that petal's not gonna do. You can bitch all you want. I'm not letting you out. You don't get out when you misbehave. They're crepe myrtle. I'm still not letting you out. When you're ugly, you have to stay in your cage. You have to be picky with crepe myrtle. That's why so many people don't want to use it. Yeah, right. Other, most plants you can just snatch them up. You don't have to be particular. But the hand of the time is better. But this one you do. What is a highly polar herb means, contrary to tick witch talk belief, most herbs cannot do the opposite, right? So, like they don't have an opposite correlation, but crepe myrtle does, and it's highly polar, so it's really sensitive. So you use crepe myrtle for beauty. If you include anything bruised or damaged, it's going to be less effective because it does the opposite, which is to take it away, to take beauty and glamour away. And because of that, most people won't work with it because they're not patient. They don't want to sit here and do this. And I have like an entire bag back here that I have to go through. No, this is not a recipe I give out. Nope. But I do let everybody know that crepe myrtle's in it, because then you can create your own just based on your knowledge of ingredients. So I don't give out my specific recipe, but if you know crepe myrtle is the main glamour component, then you can make your own using your own knowledge of what different herbs. My Wi-Fi just glitched out, so if I glitched out, I'm sorry. No holes, no discoloration. See how these are like shrivelly already? That's no good. I'm trying to show y'all some. See how this one's got some browning already? That's no good. The color of the crepe myrtle doesn't matter for this spell. It doesn't have correlation in regards to this spell. It don't matter which color flower you use. I got a couple more colors in this bag. I can smell this. They don't really have a smell. Crepe myrtles have not much of a smell at all. But they look like they would. I think that's another thing that people get surprised about is my Glamor oil has almost no smell. I guess they think it should, but it has almost no smell, and it's made that way you can put layer your own perfumes or whatever on top of it. I think people, I guess they kind of assume it should have a smell. Other people put smells in theirs, but I don't put any artificial smell in mine. So, which works out well because you can just put your own scent on top. Nope. But this tediousness is why most people will not do it. What the fuck? How'd my whole light go off? How do you have a whole entire... But the results are so much more potent that I will take the time. But this is the first time I've made a bulk amount. I usually just make it for myself. But everybody wants some. I'm gonna try it. I'm like, okay. So I'm gonna just record this, so people understand why it's expensive. All I have to do with the prep. to the shucks. Bulk batch. I don't have enough to, even my bulk, I won't have enough to, you know, I don't have 330,000 of these, you know. I won't even have 1,000. So I'm going to make as many as I can that will make, you know, still be potent. And then I will probably put them for sale friends only first. Because I just don't have enough, you know. Whoop. There's just not enough manpower to make, you know, a couple hundred of these. It's just not possible. When you do stuff the old way, what the fuck? You know, I gotta touch everything. I have to, that's how the magic gets in there. I have to touch it all. And it's just not feasible to do. You just can't do it. I have a hard enough time getting out single orders to people. Individual orders by myself. It's kind of like when I make necklaces, I just have to, you know, I do it friends only, and it's, once it's gone, it's gone. But like I say, I do let everybody know that crepe myrtle is the main ingredient. So if they want to make their own, they can, you know. I don't give away the other ingredients, but the crepe myrtle is the main mamma jamma. I'm going to stop for a minute so that I can answer some of these. You can watch my videos and see which ones I'm wearing glamor oil and which ones I'm not. Prior to, look at the ones before I got Botox and injections. You can tell which one I got it on and which one I don't. Hey, like I said, it takes a while for this to set, even once I have everything prepped. You know, it has to sit and all that lovely stuff. And then if I wish I could make 1,000 bottles, but I can't. So, you know, I'll give a date. Whenever I do stuff like this, I usually give a date of when the release is going to be. And get it if you can. That's the best thing I can tell you. I can only use perfect leaves. Like these are perfect. I can't use, there's actually very few perfect leaves, but yes, I do use them if I can find perfect ones. Or unblemished. How about that? Unblemished ones. Because, see, in the fall, I'll make the opposite of this. Is that chime? I'm playing something off of Spotify. So in the fall, I'll be making the opposite of this. I have to wait for the leaves to do a certain thing, and then I'll make a batch of the opposite. Hey, cords. This is my glamor oil. well, this is the first step in prepping glamor oil, I should say. Yeah, I'll make a post with the release date, and it'll give you the day and the time, and basically it's just I do it on, friends only usually, because it goes, when I do stuff, it usually goes really quick. But I can add you. Oh, we're friends already. I'm good. Well, it's going to be at least a month, right? Because once I get it, I got to get it in the oil. And then I have to, there's a 2-step process. So this is literally step 1. So it'll be at least a month-ish. So, because, like, so like these will be dried, and then they will go into one particular type of carrier oil. And then the other ingredients that go along with it will be put in another type of carrier oil. And then when all that's done, then they'll be joined together and they'll have to sit again. Yeah, crepe myrtle. Oh, hello. Yeah, this is such a temperamental ingredient that you can fuck up the whole thing by not doing this correctly. And people don't have the patience for that. Oh, dang. No, I don't list the ingredients for this. I do let you know it's crepe myrtle because that's the most important ingredient in a glamour oil is crepe myrtle. You can make the rest yourself by going adding ingredients that you think will benefit a glamour oil. I don't give out my specific recipe, but as long as you got that, you can personalize it yourself. Oh, Lord. I am going to make a short video out of this live so that you see, explaining why this herb is so temperamental, what's acceptable, and what you need to throw off to the side, and why. Because believe me, I wouldn't be doing all this shit if I could just throw the shit in there. I'm not doing this because I want to. I am going to make a second book, but I don't know when, so. If it's freezing again, just give it a minute. Actually, I'm not up here, so it might not be freezing. Let me put my cigarette out. Yeah, when you see me working with them, I can't see the comments. Are you going to unravel the mysteries of magic? Right? That's me, all my ancient knowledge. Like when I picked these flowers off, I picked them off late last evening. I had to put them in the refrigerator because I knew I wasn't going to clean them that day. I thought you were on Friends, Maeve. What do you mean? We are friends. We are mutuals, crackhead. Dry decide. These will be dried. These will be dried. I just can't use, okay, I can't see your comments now. I just can't use bruised ones. Tedious. Ooh, why did my music go off? Why did you go off? Stop going off. Am I froze or can y'all see me? That's just my soundtrack of like meditation, calm music. That freaking bell's getting on my nerves though. I'm going to have to find a different track. Gone. What? Oh, y'all talking about Perez, the Perez Hilton of Wichita? I mean, he's just taken away like from his craft. Like he has good craft. You know what I'm saying? I supported him for a long time until he flipped the script on me. But he's just taken away from his craft and the people that follow him for his craft by doing that. Whatever. Makes good fodder for my YouTube. The comments take up the whole screen for a second. I don't know. Just warning people on TikTok about witches that you don't like is not going to change the world in any capacity whatsoever. But, performative folks. You're my mom's teacher. Yeah. Get out of there. fake. She'll never contact you for a reading. I already posted about that, guys. Like, at this point, it's just buyer beware. I don't even advertise my readings. So, and I certainly don't say shit like that. Like, when I've needed money, I've just literally asked y'all for money. I literally, like, done like a raffle or something. I've been like, I need money. Here's a raffle. Like, why would I have to scam someone? I just ask. And I provide something in exchange. Yeah, I saw that. Y'all are cult members. So remember, you guys, if you choose to make your own decisions about someone, that means you're a cult member. But if you choose to just follow blindly because someone said so, that makes you an independent thinker.
That's not true.
I know. That's the way it is on Witch Talk.
Like, I'm high and I figured that out. Like, what the fuck?
Liberal land and extreme right conservative land are the same. Like, if you don't think I'm not going to hurt your feelings after you tell me to unalive, you're delusional, because I'm going to really hurt your feelings. And then you get mad about it, and I'm like, "Aw, you get your feelings hurt." And for some reason, unbeknownst to me, folks on this app think minors are off limits. Excuse me? I have bail money. If you come at me like an adult, I will treat you like one. I don't give a rat's patootie what your age is. If you don't want to have your butt handed to you, then go over there and stay at the kids' table. Because I do not care. Not in person either. I will absolutely smack the teeth out your mouth. I don't care how old you are. You come at me like they do on this app. I'm a minor. Okay, well, tell the police officer that. Yeah. Fireworks? God. What's his name is going to be under me in a minute. Is that garlic bread good, or are you just toasty?
Just toasty. The garlic bread isn't that good.
That's... well, shit. Hey.
Oh my god, I have a shake.
What?
I have a shake.
You have a shake?
Yeah, for Ken taking me to the doctor's. I'll pay for lunch.
Is it frozen?
Yeah.
Oh. I will throw hands on a minor if they if they come at me. And I will tell the judge exactly why I did that. And I will pay my bail money and smile in my mugshot. Even if the charge says assault of a minor, I'm going to smile in my mugshot. Yep. Because clearly your mama didn't handle you, so I had to. Talk to your mom. Your parents failed you.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Judas. The people that think I'm transphobic have about the same mentality as a flat earther. Like, I can't. I absolutely cannot. I have a question.
I have an answer.
Because I know the scientifics of why we don't think trans people should be in each other's sports. But what if someone was developed like DeAndre is, where they started their stuff before they hit puberty, and so they literally can't get in the street?
Those are fine. That's what I'm saying. It's not black and white.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot. I've seen the trans folk, male to female, when they do before puberty, and there's a reason they look that way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a. It has nuances.
It's a spectrum.
Yeah, it's not a straight, because there's some biological women that they're rare, but they be looking like a straight man out there. You know what I'm saying? That's the way they're built. So there's no one answer. But when it comes to things like sports, you have to find
middle ground.
Yeah. Like, I don't think, like, when they blocked the trans from the women's beauty pageant, why? That's not a sport. Are you mad that you got out-womaned?
They're just transphobic.
Yeah, like that. It's not a sport. You know what I mean? So I didn't understand why they did that. Are you mad? I mean, you got out-womaned by a trans woman? That sounds like a personal issue. Could and would beat the shit out of me. Yeah, it's very. People want to make it cut and dry, and it's just not. It's just not. Like, I personally could care less if there is a I don't know the correct way to say this, a trans woman without bottom surgery. I could care less in my locker room. Me personally, I could care less. I wouldn't even care if there's a whole ass heterosexual cis man in there. I don't care. But I'm not the majority. You know? A lot of women feel insecure about that situation. I could care less. In South Florida, we didn't even have separate bathrooms. But a lot of women feel very strongly that they feel insecure. Hey, potato bacon. I'm about to choke to death. I love allergies. They make me happy. Don't talk about it. Cool. Grab some food. Okay. No. I haven't figured out what I'm allergic to yet because I've never had allergies until last year. And I don't get them in my nose. I didn't know you could have an allergy that just, like, it feels like the back of your throat is scratchy and that's it. I didn't know that was allergies. But I developed it last year. But I'm moving my bird to the shop. So I'll know if it's my bird in a couple of days. Because he's going to get moved over to the shop once I get the timer for the lights right. I'll find out in a couple of days if it's the bird. Why is somebody setting off fireworks? What the? So hit menopause. I'm going to say. Oh no, I'm in menopause. I just don't have the other symptoms because I have birth control in my arm. And so you just skip all those symptoms. It's great. It's the greatest thing ever. No hot flashes. Nothing happens to your libido. It's great. Oh, move, little bug. Nope. I don't have mood swings. I don't have any other thing. Except apparently allergy to something. You know, this looks like so much, but then when I dry it, it's going to be like 2 pieces. Like half an ounce. Oh, shit. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'll be right back after these messages. Go home. It ain't time for you to eat yet. Go. Hold on, y'all. I want some coffee. Hold on. Make me some coffee before I pull out another branch. I'm going to adjust the camera so I can talk to y'all at the same time. Give me a second. Oh. Go. I'm not feeding you right now. Go. You're being very disrespectful. Come on, make my coffee. Chop, chop. I thought periods were supposed to be fast. Never gonna be. Chop, chop. Chop, chop. I could have brewed a whole pot of coffee right there. What, your French toast? I did not just try to put the sugar container in the fridge. Y'all did not see that. That did not happen. Let's see if I can rearrange some stuff. Maybe. I think I got a rose color one in here somewhere. There's one. I haven't got any of the really deep pink ones yet. The ones that are like wine colored. I gotta get some of them. So, yeah, I got one more. It's like a deep rose color, but I haven't found one that's within snatching range yet. For me to snatchy snatch. Well, I've seen them in places I can't go get them. You know, it's like in somebody's yard or right in front of the place of business, not out back. So as soon as I find out one, well, Crone, you can actually order them live and have them sent to your house. Just so you know, you can literally order the little one. And get a crepe myrtle of your own. Yeah, and they're like weeds down here, so they're really, really easy to grow. I played with them too, but I'm using these for my glamour oil. You can look at just look for crepe myrtles for sale, and then the word nursery. You could save the bruised ones, but the material, the tissue the petals are made out of is so slight, it would probably be completely decomposed. I use mostly the leaves. The leaves will turn and then they'll fall off the plant, and they'll still be they'll have a little bit of green, but mostly like red and yellow, and start to look rough. And those are the leaves that I pull for that. To -20. I bet they would probably make it if you put that mulch over top of them, Chrome. Like mulch the roots. You can look up about them. They're pretty tough tree. They're a pretty tough cookie. Like they're really fucking hard to kill. But you can also force them to stay into a pot, right? So they'll grow as big as you want them to. But you can also hack them down and make them into a bush. You can also force them to stay in a pot. No, I haven't made that post yet. You gotta have water. You definitely gotta have water. But they're really hard to kill. I'll smoke me a cigarette before I begin again. From your farm in Nottingham. In Nottingham, 2:31 a.m. Whose horse is that? Great myrtles. Dude, what is that? It's Loki's spine. Whoa! I doubt Loki would spy. He would just come over. Perez would just come over. They are also so worried about the ranking. Who is live? What do you mean ranking? What? Who is they? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Hey, Saints of Gold. Hey, rankings impaired. Okay. I don't know. Oh. Oh. I got so confused. I was like, what's going on? I'm smoking right away. That's why I hadn't started yet. I swear. It's something else. I think Witch Talk's main problem with me is the vast majority of Witch Talk is extremely left liberal, like to the extreme. And I am not. And so therefore, I'm clearly the enemy. Then I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but I don't play those games. The hell if I know, Lexi Lee, but I can't put my face on this account. Not supposed to, Jenna. Amazon should cover up your address. Right, I think. Yeah, so they automatically think that I'm a Trump supporting Republican. I'm like, no, not that either. I do live in reality though, so. Now, Jenna, usually it stays hidden. They're the ones that mail it out, so the person sending it to you never see it. Well, now I'm not really neutral. I just prefer reality and science over feelings. Either way, I don't care about people's Jesus feelings, and I don't care about people's liberal feelings. You know? And some people on both sides do not live in reality. It's just on Witch Talk. They've already banned free speech on here, so they ran off all the conservatives. which is dumb for them because then they're not going to know what their people are thinking. But would you ever practice on hoodoo? Absolutely not. I'm not messing with that. Both, they just, I don't know. They be tripping. They be tripping. But, the extreme left-hand side of things is pretty much guarantee us a Republican president. Just give it to them, Oh, yeah, absolutely, Joey. I'm not tiptoeing around nothing. I don't tiptoe. I never have tiptoed. Yeah, they don't, Crone. Like, I'm not tiptoeing around nothing. And the I get called, how can I do this without getting cut off? Hold on. Let me find out some code language. Hold on. Transformers. We'll use that. So, people will say that I don't like Transformers. Because I prefer to follow the science of it. I'm not against Transformers. I have no problem with Transformers. But I don't think people I think the thing that I say that upsets people is that when you're when your G does not match your S, then that is dysphoria, and that is a mental disorder. And I think that's what upsets people. And so it's not okay to teach that is the normal, because it's not. And it's not that I think that, I have a severe disorder. You know what I mean? But I don't get upset because people tell me I have a disorder. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm going to handle this as best as I can. So it's not okay to teach a disorder to be a normal part of puberty. And people get upset about that. And I'm like, sorry. It's just not. And for some reason, they think that they'll jump to the conclusion that means that I can't. I'm against blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I'm just saying, you call a spade a spade. A spade is a spade. Alaska has brown bears, and I'm scared. And they also have polar bears. So, like, I have borderline personality disorder. It don't matter where you put me, what country you put me in, how you dress it up, I still have borderline personality disorder. Emily Gagliardi, are you getting my comment? I got that one. I haven't turned off nothing. No. Anyway, they get mad about that. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry. That's a personal problem. I don't expect the whole world to cater to my disorder. I would certainly hope they did not do that. Because I'm a very tiny percent of the population. I ain't messing with no moose either. That is a crepe myrtle. Sahara abandoned 2 million. Why they do you like that, Sahara? That was wrong, Sahara. No, Jada does not have DID. Okay, first of all, this is where my problem with the DID people come with. Okay? And why I get so aggravated. I don't care what people say. DID is different from multiple personality disorder. Period. You know why? Because I'll tell you why. Multiple personality don't know about each other. They have no clue. They have no idea what the other one's doing. And the main person does not know what the other one's doing. So what you see on here as DID are these people that call themselves systems. Yes, open course. Where they all know about each other. And quite frankly, I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't know if that's legitimate or some type of coping thing that people came up with. But they are absolutely not the same thing, and that's why people get mad at me. And I'm like, I don't care, stay mad. My mom has this issue, and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. And so they can stay mad, because they are not the same at all. Oh, you mean BPD? It appears that they do, which is very unusual because multiple personality, borderline is not hereditary. But there was some issues with my pregnancy. So we're going to have both of our genomes run by I don't know what the scientist is, a gene person. Hey. Because there's something, yeah, they're different. That's exactly right, Google Eagle. What was I just saying? I lost what I was saying. It's going. We're getting there. Anyway, my point is that when the gender does not match the biological sex, that is dysphoria, and that is not normal. That's a disorder. I don't know why they think that's a bad thing, but that's what it is. It's a disorder. And it does not need to be taught to people that that's a normal part of puberty, because it's not. It's not. Normally, when you come out, those two things match. And that's why I have a problem with it being taught as a normal part of growing up, because it's not. You don't teach that borderline personality disorder is a normal part of growing up. You don't teach that disorders are a normal part of growing up, that everyone has them. And that's where they say that I don't like Transformers. You know, it's called science, and they don't like that. Well, the extreme left liberal ones don't. Go see it, Maeve. Record it. No, they understand. And they want to say that no one is born into a particular gender. And I'm like, no, that's actually not true. You are. And the gender for male and female is very wide. It's a spectrum on itself, but being born feeling you're another gender that's dysphoria. That's a disorder. Or feeling like you don't even have one. And, that's a problem for them. That's when they say that I'm phobic. And I'm like, well, okay, well, call science phobic then. I don't understand. I think that they should have equal rights than everybody else. I think that they need more protection than everybody else, because people are stupid. They do need higher protection, extra ways to make them feel safe. But that's the extent of it. Oh yeah, they think I said that too, and I was like, no, but you're not going to do that to a minor, because it has permanent effects on their body. Yes, puberty blockers have permanent effects on the body. You can get your therapy and you can get your binders and all that kind of thing, but there doesn't need to be anything medically or chemically done on a child. That's not what we do as doctors. And we're going to start seeing, because there's more and more regrets coming out, and because they were goaded into it. But I just hate that the ones that truly have it are getting lost in the mix. The ones that truly have it are getting lost in the politics, and that sucks. It'll be on YouTube if they allow this audio that I have. If this audio in the background is copyrighted, I can't put it up. It's in there. Get off of me. Because it turns out a lot of these folks are realizing that they were just homosexual, that they weren't trans, and they're realizing it too late because it was done too early. That sucks, man. But I will tell you this, I don't think anybody would voluntarily choose to be trans. Good Lord. What must it be like to be trapped in the wrong body? I can't fathom. I cannot fathom that. Feel like you're trapped in the wrong freaking body. Gosh. That's got to be really trying. It was. I had some chimes going on. I don't know what happened. Just yeah. I'll be paying a lot of people's bills, apparently. Hey, bye. I'm not killing flowers. I guess technically, yeah. I mean, apparently I've been giving people all kinds of content. I am making some for y'all, but it will be month and a half before it's ready. Yeah, these are crepe myrtles. I'd just be over here minding my business. I literally be over here minding my business. I don't know how much further over here minding my business I could possibly be. Hey, Maeve, how'd it go over there? Nah. Oh, yeah. Did you see what I wrote on Mercedes? Like, girl, why don't you tell Loki about all that non-SJW stuff that you've been doing that don't nobody know about before you say anything about me? Talking about Cuban synergy, Cuban things synergy. Mm-hmm. She better not go there. I got some tea so hot, it'll burn you if you get too close. Like, you better stay in your lane. Let me go to my oven. Hold on. Let's stop the music for a minute. We're gonna go have a look, see.
Because you want to clout off of making a list by mentioning all those people's names. That's the difference between me and you, Ashley. Some people want to, like, attack me for you. Cassie. Exactly. There's a difference between a private server and a public account where these people can see unless they have me blocked. Anyways, I'm going to hop off of here. But in summary, all of them suck. I double down on that. I will keep making those videos. I will keep elaborating. And for those who are offended by that, I don't know, fuck off. I don't know what to do, but I'm not going anywhere, bitches. So.
Who wanted him to go anywhere? I don't understand. Nobody wants you to go anywhere. You're the one that wants other people to go away. Most wanted today. Like, nobody wants you to go anywhere. I don't understand. I think people think they're a lot more important than they actually are. That's what I think. I act like I'm important, but really, in the grand scheme of things, I'm not. I'm just acting. I don't understand. There's no loop. If you go to my main page, it tells you where to find out all the information. Not how you felt about watching this live. Did you tell them that you felt victimized? Did you tell them that you felt victimized? Like I said, that's the Perez Hilton of witch talk. That's what that is. But I'm too busy over here doing witch stuff. You know, like doing these ingredients. You know, think about it. Think about Ursula. Think about Ursula from The Little Mermaid, right? Horrible person. Bet you could learn all kinds of stuff from Ursula if they were a real person. I don't know why people think that a teacher has to agree with you politically or religiously for you to learn from them. That's ridiculous. Oh shit. So, I mean, I want to learn from anyone. So I don't understand why. Think of the Lord of the Rings, right? That Sauron guy. Bet you could learn an awful lot from him. Bet you he could teach you a lot. I bet you could have learned a lot from Darth Vader. You don't just have to learn from Obi-Wan Kenobi. Oh, I'm going to dry them. I'm going to dry them out. But you got to make sure they don't have blemishes. That's why this is so tedious. So I think it's ridiculous that people... I don't know what happened. I didn't raise my kid. My kid's the same generation as these people are. And I don't know what they did wrong. I really don't. I don't know what they did wrong. My kid came out non-binary, and they still know what science is. Not saying we didn't struggle. We definitely had some struggle in there. But now that they're 21, like, it's fine. Because I still have the same views now as I did then, you know, in regards to the science of it. Now, they just turned 22, actually, but they still look about 15. And after watching me get shots in my face, they were like, I am never getting in the sun, ever. I never have, and I never will. Got all kinds of little critters in here. Oh, I just threw those the wrong way. Wrong way. Oh, get off of there. it's such a process. Such a process. Whoops. Nope. What the fuck? Healthy. Oh my God. Allergies suck balls. Mm-hmm. Come on, bugs and all. Let's go. Chop, chop. Chop, chop. Bugs included. Gotta go. Hold on, y'all. No, these are good leaves. All right. All right, hold on. All right. What time is it? Okay. I am going to do one more round before I put these in the fridge. And start again tomorrow. Because I still have to do some stuff in my room because it looks like a whole ass tornado went through it. And I gotta feed my dogs. And so on and so forth and so on and so forth. Get out. Okay. How the fuck did that get there? Give me the flower petals. Give me the petals. Give it. Honey. Damn, how many more white things I got in here? Why there gotta be so many white people? Oh, I forgot to check those for leaves. Let's see if I got any good leaves in here. Oh, that one is a little itty bitty teeny tiny. This one. Boop. This one. Boop. Get off me. Boop. Okay. You wouldn't believe how hard it is to find a leaf without something wrong with it until you go to look for one. And you're like, hey, that's really not that common. All right. Are we good now? Some loose flowers. Oh. Some of these who never like to come off. Is that a good? Nope. Nope. Messed up. Oh, nope. That one's messed up. Give me the stuff. That one's ooh. That one's not. Give me the leaf. Give it. Okay. Give. Wait. Okay. My last batch. Well, I got plenty of crepe myrtles here in South Carolina. That's definitely something we are not low on. I watched The Craft yesterday. It was interesting. I have to finish watching Good Omens. I've seen it before, but oof, watching it again. I remember when I watched it, it was so cool. We were like, oh my god. Yes. That is crepe myrtle. I am allergic to them. That sucks because there's lots of them. The Craft, the first time I watched The Craft, I was like, that's so cool. But the only thing realistic in it was the way that Thella acted from the love spell. That's real. That was accurate. Cut some of my flowers down. Moonstruck Fox. That's a cool name. Oh, I love The Craft. It's like a cult classic for me. I mean, I like Practical Magic, but I'm not like, oh, let me go watch Practical Magic again. One of my favorite cult classics is The Lost Boys. That's one of my favorites. When you're talking about 80 cult classics, The Lost Boys is right up there. And Pretty in Pink. You got my book? Thank you for supporting me. Oh shit, where'd it go? Thank you for supporting me, Music and Mascara. Yeah, say anything. Yeah. A Boondock Saints is a requirement to be in my family. 1 and 2. So you have, in order to join my family, you have to have watched, and therefore almost memorized The Pest, starring John Leguizamo. And you must understand and realize that the movie The Boondock Saints, the bond between the family members, that's a real thing in regards to my family. And so you must take on that. You must be indoctrinated as well as with the tattoos. So like Philip went and got the tattoos. So therefore, and I mean this seriously, and I warned him before he got them. If you tattoo yourself into this family, it's forever. I don't care if you leave and join another family. It doesn't matter. You are in there forever. You are tied forever. And he got them on his calves. And so I didn't know he was going to do it. He did it. And I was like, sorry, you're here forever. I don't care if you join another family. You are required. We will come for you if we need you and you don't show up. That's just, especially into this family with the amount of, metaphysical whatnot. And he did it anyway. So there you go. That's it. That's it. That's the end of the rope. I'm ridiculous. I like a book. I stick to this. Yep. That's the way it is. He chose to voluntarily get those tattoos, and so that's it. We take it very seriously. This will be used for my glamour oil. One way or another, that's right. I was like, I don't think you understand. This is not just a tattoo. It's a little bit more than that. I don't know why you would get a tattoo that's on everyone in the Witchfoot family and think it doesn't have a stronger correlation than just a tattoo. After deconstructing from Christianity, I don't believe in a higher power. Well, there is a higher power. It's just it's not a being. Period. So that's once you understand that it's not a conscious being, boy, does the rest of the whole universe make sense. Yeah, Boondock Saints, and then like 20 years later, they made the Boondock Saints 2. The original Boondock Saints was filmed, I think, on like $5,000 was their budget, and they filmed it in 2 weeks in Boston. And it flopped at the box office, and then it turned into one of the biggest cult classic movies ever. The fact that he did that movie on $5,000 in 2 weeks. I'm gonna try to do it to upload it up there. Yep, made a second one in 20 years using the same people. What helped you decide to go on the path you are now? Well, that's a long story, but it's on my where is that? I think it's on my, I don't know where that's at actually. I don't know which playlist it's on. It is, but I don't know what playlist it's on, you know what I'm saying? I haven't been live on YouTube in a while. No, they didn't switch the brothers. One of the brothers was having he looked poofy and swollen. Because he had a reaction to something. And so his face was really poofy and swollen for the movie, and he filmed it anyway. Would I ever get my eyeball tattooed? Nope. I mean, I don't care if somebody else does, but not me. No, thank you. No thanks. No, he just had some kind of reaction or something. He looked really swollen and poofy. I can't remember why he was swollen and poofy, but he did it anyway. I'm trying to figure out some stuff out and seeing how you can get clarification. Clarification for what? I'm confused. Ow. I'm doing all right. Boondock Saints 2. It's coming. It's getting all the doodads in place and all that crap. Vonnie, I don't think I'm getting your entire thing. I think I'm getting like every other thing. Oh, I will never set foot in the state of Texas. Sorry. No, thank you. Looking at the I was doing something with the flowers. I'm fixing to finish doing something with the flowers. Would I ever come to Australia? I doubt it. Simply because of my fear of flying. Apparently, I fit right in. My attitude is right in line with the Aussies. According to Aussies. But it's the it's my fear of flying that's a problem there. Plus, I definitely would have to stop by outside of Brisbane and Wamarong and beat the living shit out of somebody, which is going to put me in jail. But I'll bring bail money. Just have to stop by there first. Kansas? I don't know. I guess if I was doing some kind of fucking book tour or something, I'll go to Kansas. But I ain't going to Texas. Nope. No, thank you. No, thank you. I want nothing to do with that state. After time travel, is it? No, I don't like flying. I didn't like flying to Boston, but it's quick. But the more often I went, the worse I got. Like, you'd think it would get better the more often I went, but it didn't. I got a serious problem with that. Don't like it at all. don't like it. Couldn't imagine you being a skier. Falling 40,000 feet out of the sky. Yeah, that's gonna. I'm gonna be pissed about that. But you gotta wait like 3 whole minutes to die. And I don't like the sensation of falling. I don't have a problem with other states. I just don't like. I'm not going to Texas. No, thank you. Nope. Nope. No, thank you. Don't. I like taking off though. That's my favorite part. I guess those are G-forces or whatever. I love that part. But then I'm like, can it be over now? And it's illogical too. Like I know the statistics on flying. And I can't even override it with the logic. It's just one thing that I really don't like doing. I will, but I don't like it. No, it's way more than a roller coaster. It's the speed. It gets my adrenaline going, I guess. Guess that's what them folks call it. But I don't like going fast in a car. So it's gotta be something giant that's going that fast. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd probably love blasting off into space. Oh my God. I'd probably have an orgasm. Going that fast in that gigantic ass thing. It's just like, it's not just the speed. It's like, when the engines start revving up so you can hear it, the power, building up, and then you go fucking slingshotting down the runway. So I know it has more to do than just speed. It's like, I don't know. I don't know what to say other than that. But it's the only time I've felt it is on an airplane. But I'm sure I would feel a giant version of it, like in a rocket.
Did I just watch Pride and Prejudice? Because that's the best damn thing ever.
Is it? Did you do the one with Emma Watson and the girl from
Keira Knightley?
Yeah.
That with Mr. Darcy.
Yeah, Mr. Darcy. That's the same lady that wrote Sense and Sensibility. And Sense and Sensibility is my favorite.
My favorite one's Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah. What's that? Bronte, I think that's Emily Bronte. I love them. Is it liquid yet?
You have to be picky with your spot. Like where it was fine, so I don't know why you touched it.
Yeah, so I know it's not just the speed.
I've been trying to upload videos, but every time I go to look at one of my videos, caption, my brain goes blank.
Oh, I know what that's like. Oh, the water dropped from there and went down my leg, and I was like,
difference.
I was like, what in the fudge? I don't know what you would classify that as.
What? Pride and Prejudice?
No. No. I was talking about how I absolutely effing love to take off in a plane. I hate flying. But I like taking off. And I know it's not the speed because I've been in cars that go really fast. No. It's when you start hearing that engine start, that gigantic ass engine starts firing up and then you get down there.
I would say that's ADHD because I do that with the cars. Growing up, when I would hear the cars coming or start up and go, I would hide. I would have an energy boost and I would hide. And I would wait for someone to find me.
It's like the power behind it. Or being inside something that powerful that's going.
Yeah, it gives you an energy boost.
Yeah, it's like a adrenaline. I was on a plane, got landing gear, get stuck. See what I'm saying? I ain't trying to do all that. I tell you what, I watched that landing on the Hudson at least 100 times. That when I say that dude was flawless, everyone wants a Sully as a pilot. I've watched it so many times from every angle, and that was just some flawless, golly. Actually, your plane nowadays has a very good chance of landing without exploding if its landing gear won't go down. But I was just blown away by the landing on the Hudson. I just watched it so many times. I mean, when I tell you that was flawless, I'm glad they made a movie about what they did to him afterwards because most people didn't know. They did not know. So I was so glad they made that movie. That was just fucking flawless. It looked like that plane was meant to land in the water. That's how flawless it was. That's someone who should have a statue somewhere. You know what I'm saying? A regular dude that pulled off some stuff like that. That's somebody that should have a bronze statue somewhere. That guy. What did they do to Sully? Oh, they accused Sully of everything, wanted to charge him for the plane being destroyed. They treated him like shit. That's why I was so glad they made that movie, because when America found out what they did, ooh, Lord, America was like, excuse me. I know you did not do that to Sully. Not our Captain Sully. Clearly you're mistaken.
I'm guessing we're not doing the bed.
No, I still might.
Still might? Okay.
Oh, if you're going to sleep, no.
I'm not going to sleep. I just need somewhere to lay down. I'm tired of sitting up in my room.
Fine.
Over it, bitch. I want my bed back.
See, any of those, if I had slid off the runway, or if I had landed, but didn't have landing gear, you bet your ass I would never fly in another plane again. Because to me, that's your warning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was your warning. I'd be like, nope, I'm never getting in another plane. God done warned me. Flying's not for me. I wouldn't get in another plane unless I was flying it. Help. Hey, what are you doing, little bug? Where you at? We're doing, little bug. feet from the edge of the ocean on a lava bed. No, just no on all those things. Just no. You know what I'm saying? Like, with all our technology, here's what I don't get. Listen. With all our technology, how do we not have a contraption that ejects rows of seats with parachutes? How do we not have that? You know what I'm saying? How? How do we not have a section of the plane that can completely detach in an emergency? You see what I'm saying? Like, how? They just don't want to pay for it? You said help twice, Lost Jerry. Because that's what I would think, is it ejects by row or by section. So that if something goes, I mean like a parachute for the whole section. Like the whole row comes up. You know? Yeah. Well, at least you got a chance running Red Doe. You don't have to wait for 3 hours while your plane goes down. Like, if something hits the wing or something like that, or the bottom or something like that, there should be something that automatically pops it out. Yeah, for the cab, on Glam Magic? No, not particularly on that particular thing. Like why don't we have that? That don't make no sense. Why we don't have that? Well, I mean, I'm talking about something for real, not teleportation. What keeps your mentality healthy? Y'all got to understand that knowledge is like my hobby. So, like, I was a nerd in school. So it's not a chore for me. I enjoy it. No, because I suck at astral projection. All over downtown. Yeah, he should have a big bronze statue somewhere. Thing was beautiful. You ever like knowing too much is a curse? No, knowing too much is a curse, but it does make it harder to have fun. Because a lot of things aren't mysterious anymore, because you already know why it does this or why it does that. There's less mystery in the world, I guess you could say. Batman. Yeah, that's why I'm glad they made the movie. Because now everybody knows. Oh, yeah, I wish there was teleportation too. Now everybody knows the shit they try. Batman. I need to finish this. Because I need to switch me and Jade's beds around. The more you know, though, the more you realize how much you don't know. I know that doesn't make sense, but The more knowledge that you get, the more you realize that you don't know anything. That's the best way I can explain that. The more things you learn, the more you realize you don't know shit. Like, for instance, let me tell y'all something that happens that everybody knows. Everybody knows this happens, but nobody can tell us why. You ready? Y'all think it's going to be complicated, but it's not. Y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Okay. A caterpillar turns into fucking soup. Soup. Before it turns into a butterfly. And we can't tell you why. We can't tell you exactly how. Because the cell, yes, the DNA, but all the cells turn into soup and then change what kind of cells they're going to be and then rebuild the butterfly. And to this day, we can't tell you why. Even the brain, everything, they turn to absolute soup. And then, yeah. Right, yep. Yeah. I don't know if it's the same as mammal stem cells, but they turn into fucking soup. And then, if you ever want to see what they look like, go watch sugar gliders eating a pupa. Okay? Go watch the video, sugar gliders eating a pupa. Okay? And you'll see. When it forms, you know how the pupa will look like the outline of the moth or the butterfly that's going to come out? That outline is there before they form. So when they're still soup and they move as soup, and then everybody gets reassigned, and then they reform and start making the butterfly. And we still don't know how the hell they do. We don't know. Everything. It's crazy, y'all. Go look at it. Go look at a sugar glider eating a pupa. You will see what the inside of caterpillars look like. No, as soon as the caterpillar makes this little cocoon, and you'll see it stops moving, it'll stop moving, and then it sheds its skin, and it looks like a little, like a brown package, right? It's like an envelope that a moth is going to come out of. In that pupa, it is liquid soup. No organs. It all breaks down into like a cell soup, and then all the cells talk to each other, and they're like, okay, you're going to be wings, and I'm going to be arms, and I'm going to be eyes, and then they all go and form a completely different organism. Can you make millions being a very good and you probably can make millions. That's actually a misnomer. The bees shouldn't be able to fly thing. That is crepe myrtle flower. Hello, bright-eyed artist. So, that's what I'm saying is we can know all the stuff. We learn all the different things, and all the different things are good, but we still can't tell you how caterpillar soup knows to reform and grow into a butterfly or a moth. That's crazy. Have you ever seen anything you were in a past life? Nope, and I don't want to know. If I need to know, I would remember it. There's a reason that we forget. And I ain't trying to do cheat codes with my life. What caterpillar soup? What do you think we would do with this info? Well, for instance, I'm going to give you the really non-scientific version, okay? So if we could figure out how caterpillar soup does what it does, what's most important is that they rebuild neuron things. So they're little bitty brains and eyes, stuff like that. So if we were able to figure out what gene does that in the soup, then we can put that gene in like a stem cell soup, and it should we should be able to program it to grow an eye, or like a spinal cord, so you could put that soup between the part of somebody's spinal cord that's functioning, bridge it over the gap where they got the injury, and connect it to the other half in order to undo the paralyzation. So stuff like that. It can lead to things like that. Right, but it does sound like stem cells. But if we could take the gene from the caterpillars, we could put it into any cell. So, in other words, you wouldn't have to pull out marrow cells or get fetal cells, stuff like that. Twisted doll, I think we're going to get there. Because you know why I think so? Because it was already shown in The Fifth Element. So usually when it's in a science fiction movie, it ends up being true later. They can replicate stem cells, but you wouldn't have to if you had a gene that you could stick into any old cell that would do the same thing. Yeah, I've seen the test run on the printed organs. But stupid ass phone, just stay where I put it. You wouldn't want me to be a scientist, because I'm going to be the scientist that has no problem doing the stuff that should not be done by sane people. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody goes on death row, well, you just think you're about to get lethally injected, but really, I'm going to take you after that. You're going to be my guinea pig. Since you want to go and do those horrible things, now you're going to be a guinea pig for science. You're going to wake up in a lab, my friend. Yeah. Especially it was one that, you know, there was plenty of proof, not someone where they just put him in jail and just said, okay, you did it. But a really nasty one, heck yeah. You're going to wake up in my lab. Well, that's a good little leaf. What do I think of Doja Cat? I don't think of Doja Cat. Really? Oh my God, I don't like the way it looks. I would. Yeah, I'd be that kind of scientist. Was it Ted Bundy? Ted Bundy was one of the ones that was the death penalty. Wake up, I'd be like, wakey, wakey, Ted. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey, Ted. Welcome to the U.S. Military Human Experimentation Laboratory. I thought that was Dahmer. I don't want to pay for people to be in prison for life. That's BS. Just get rid of them. I hate that I have to pay for people to stay alive in prison. That's no. However, with the corruptness of our judicial system, you know, almost 50% of the people on death row probably didn't do it. They probably just didn't have enough money for a good lawyer. So, that's literally the only reason that I don't advocate for the death penalty unless there's just so much fucking evidence it's ridiculous. Because our justice system is a joke. Oh my God. And then when a jury, which I would never have a jury trial, gets it right, people get mad. Because they get mad. They're like, no, I know that person was guilty. Well, it ain't about your feelings. It's about evidence. And juries convict on feelings. I would never have a jury trial. Ever. Ever, ever. You got better luck with a judge, intelligence-wise. I don't even like judges too much, but you got a better chance with a judge than you do a jury. Juries are stupid. I would hang a jury in a minute. In a minute? I'd be like, nope, sorry. Yeah, man, you can get your degree in prison. we can't force you to do work anymore. Like, I'm pretty sure that when you break the law, you violated someone else's rights, so you should not have those same rights while you are in prison. I don't understand. And then when you get out, why are you still punished? I don't care if you were a felon. If you did your time, why can't you now vote? Why does it have to be checked on your background? And you wonder why people end up staying in the system. You make them serve their sentence forever. Forever. The majority of people in jail, the vast majority, are good people who made a very bad decision. A very stupid decision. Like, damn. Why you gotta be a felon for life? You know what I'm saying? I don't understand. Why aren't pedophiles neutered? I don't understand. I don't understand. You know they're gonna do it again. So I don't understand. I don't get it. No, I know the prisons are for profit, but it's ridiculous. Have you ever been to prison in Russia? Have you seen how they do prison? That's how you do prison. When my dad was in prison, he'd be looking at prison today and he'd just laugh. He's like, it's like a fucking vacation. It's no wonder people don't mind going back to prison. I mean, granted, you still have, prison's still not a good place to go. But compared to when he was in there in the 70s, he's like, man, this stuff's a walk in the park. Get your health care. You can graduate from high school. You can graduate from college. You can get a degree while you're in there. You got air conditioning. What in the world? Hell, you got 3 meals and a roof over your head. As long as you can avoid getting your ass beat or your butt pounded, you'll be all right. Yeah, unless you're into that. But even then, even if you're into that, they'll do it when you don't want to do it either. You know what I'm saying? So, whether you would like it done or not, somebody's going to do it when you don't want them to do it. I don't know. Oops. And then when they outlawed asylums, now you have, that's what the prisons are. Half of that population is people who were too mentally disturbed to be in society. And so now they go to prison. Or our vets are on the street homeless. I don't know how that happened. I think if you serve in active duty. You know, where you'd be killing people or seeing them killed or, taking care of the ones that got hurt. You shouldn't have to pay for nothing else for the rest of your natural life. Housing, cars, whatever. Should be a done deal. I wouldn't have no problem paying for that with my taxes. People don't tell them. Yeah, crepe myrtle. Get off me. Can you imagine the problems this country would have if they tried to do a draft? The people they're trying to draft would literally be protesting out in the streets. No, not going to draft. Going to protest. You wouldn't have nobody going to fight your shit. You'd be like, you better draft from another country. They'd be like, no, I don't think so. I'm sorry, but the draft is unconstitutional. Like, no. You try to talk these people into going to the draft now, they're going to be like, for what? So you can use me to go blow up and take over some other kind of country? No, thank you. That's what I'm saying. You would have to bribe people to draft. And you watch how fast women don't want their equal rights if they kicked in a draft. I'd be like, I'm pregnant. What? Nope, I gotta go. I'm supposed to be at home making sandwiches. the draft would be like 99% Republican. No, I'm not saying it wouldn't be a good thing, but I'm just saying that that's more likely the people that are, stand behind the country or whatever. Because everybody else would be trying to dodge the draft. Because there's a lot of people that live in this country that have never been out of it. And so they think this country sucks because they've never lived anywhere else. Because boy, would they change their tune if they did. Like, I complain about some things about this country I don't like, but you best believe I'm fortunate that I got born in the country I did. It's got its problems, but when you think about how many countries there are to live in that lets me do what I want to do that I've done in this lifetime, not that many. They're not albino spiders. They're little white spiders that you find on white crepe myrtles. They're little white crab spiders. Oh, shit. Yeah, well, the thing is here's a big problem with the left, well, with the left and the right, is that our schools do not ever teach, and I go through this, if you go to my YouTube and go under the playlist, Which Foot on Social Issues, I have a whole long YouTube video about it, because the problem here is that our schools on purpose don't teach that there is more than one type of capitalism. Socialism is not how you run a country. You can only do that on a country with a small, homogenous population, because the minute that goes wrong, they will flip right over into Trumpsters. That's what happened in the Netherlands. If you don't have a small, homogenous population, socialism doesn't work. You have to have the same number of people putting in as is taking out. That is how that works. But capitalism, what we have is trickle-down capitalism. That's not the only type of capitalism. The best working version of capitalism, and I never effing remember the name. Hold on. I gotta look it up. collective capitalism. So the best working form of economy in existence on this planet is collective capitalism. That is demonstrated in Japan. It's not perfect, but it is by far one of the best methods of running a country's economy is collective capitalism. What the fuck is that? But they don't teach that in school. That's why you'll see people go, capitalism sucks and down with capitalism. That's because they didn't teach you that there are several different types of capitalism. They don't want you to know, quite frankly. You know, this country wants you to believe that trickle-down capitalism is the only kind of capitalism. That's just not true. But anyway, I go to it on my YouTube under Which Foot on Social Issues. I go into that and explain all that. That prevents the gaps between what's that fucking gap? You know, between the rich and the poor. It prevents that. It makes that much less. And it's not based on equity of outcome. That's not what it's about. So that's the best functional kind. What are you doing, Ant? Donna. Is anybody in here? Did I freeze? Or? Yeah, collective capitalism. When Japan did a reset after World War I and did a restructuring, that's what they put in, is collective capitalism. And, you know, no one's going to talk about it because heaven forbid people knew there was a better way to do a system. It's yeah, they don't. I think there's 3 different types of capitalism, if I'm not mistaken. Well, no, okay. It depends on which way you go about this. Well, what's that called? That's called, what we're under right now, TJ, is called corporate capitalism. That is what that's called. Corporate capitalism. We started out under entrepreneurial capitalism. But then as soon as they changed the laws in regards to liability for corporations, that's what enabled corporate capitalism to take over. And do you know that all the fights that you see today, like even like what you're seeing on like Witch Talk and stuff, all the fights that you see today and the discrepancy and the polarity between the parties and everything would not exist if we had universal education. Education fixes so much so fast. it's the worst thing a government can have is an educated populace. But yeah, and I'm talking about like at least a bachelor level education. That's the main. Even the AIs, when they asked the two AI robots, the first thing out of both of their mouths was education. When they asked them, what's the best way to fix the problems of the day? Both of them, off of different programs, said education, because it is. It doesn't matter who sees what. That doesn't change the fact that education is the key to solve most problems. So, like, conservatives wouldn't be so ridiculously conservative, and liberals wouldn't be so insanely liberal if everybody was educated. That's the problem. Yeah, but people don't use it, Katana, so it's period. They don't use it, so it's pointless. No, I didn't see that. They don't have to charge it now. They charge it because it's privatized, right? So when you have universal education, that means the government prioritizes education, okay? Which our government's never going to do, but that means that the nation, the government, and the people within it all prioritize unbiased education, which is never going to happen in this country because we're full of idiots. And we're such a me country. So it only works when the government and the people prioritize education. Why anyone in this country, this is one thing that I really can't comprehend, no matter what side of the aisle you're on. Why anyone would think that paying taxes for education so everybody could be educated is a bad idea blows my mind. Dude, it blows my mind. Why anyone would think that that was a bad idea. Like, what? You know what I think would be a bad idea? Education. Like, who thinks that that's a bad idea? It's insane. Yes. No, but I'm talking about, no, Maeve, I'm talking about regular people, not the people in charge. I'm talking about regular people. Regular people. There are millions that for some reason do not think that's something that you would do to make a nation better. That's crazy. It's insane. They shouldn't have ever had the debt to begin with. Well, that's what I'm saying though. A universal education, y'all have to understand, universal education means that there's a nationwide standard. Okay? So therefore, the the subjects that are biased and da-da-da-da-da-da, that doesn't come into play. This is why our nation will never do that, do this. Because it's a standardized thing. That means every place, every state agrees to teach X, Y, and Z. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like these other universities where you have delusional fucking professors. like, what are you doing? You know, you have a standardized thing, and that's why it's just so different. It's because it's not standardized. When something is scientific, it's not liberal. Science isn't liberal. What people today confuse is that, like, that sociology is like factual science. For some reason, they think sociology is the same as like biology. I'm like, a social science is not. That's not. I need you to calm down. Like, they don't know the difference. Because this is my main account and there's an algorithm for my face. That's why. It's bizarre. Yeah, I mean, this kind of never happened in this country. Never happened. It would never happen. Is it really that bad, in your opinion, to not have a high school diploma? Only if you're planning on working for somebody else. But in America, when you graduate 12th grade, you're only graduating at a 9th grade rate in Europe. So there's that. Nah, the government's been doing that since about, I know, I saw an exit exam from like 1812, and I could barely pass that bitch. So it's been happening for a while. They've been dumbing down the population for a very long time. But the United States is fucking oh, it's so sad. Like I said, Miranda, it's only if you're going to plan on working for somebody else. Philosophy, good Lord. That's what liberals have way too much of. Oh my God. Well, there's a reason people debate in philosophy, because it's not real. No, Maeve. When I say philosophy, the problem is that both the left and the right actually believe in what things should be. Not what they are, or what they're going to be, the reality. They believe it should be. I should be allowed to do this. We should still have Jesus in school. We should do that. That's philosophical. That's not reality. And I'm just like, yeah, I live in reality. Okay, so your shoulds mean nothing to me. That's what I mean when I say they're way too philosophic for real life. I don't even care at this point about the true history and truth when it comes to that big stuff. It don't even matter. They can't even tell the truth about how the country was formed. You know what I'm saying? That gets people too upset. They can't even do that. We've had a non-biased history book for over a decade now. No, it might be like 15 years. They wouldn't even use that. So, the other stuff, who cares? We can't even get the people to teach the own history of the country correctly. Built in the name of... The North wasn't built on slavery. That statement alone gets people really upset. That gets people really upset. The South was. The entire economy of the South was. But like the North was not. And even if you say that's a no-no too. So that we can't even teach that correctly. It's a big old mess is what it is. Like, I didn't find out about Tulsa, the Black Wall Street, until I was 30-something years old. That's ridiculous. Yeah, it's crazy. Well, no, first the USA was founded on murder. You forgot that part. That's what it was first founded on. But what are your opinions on the LGBTQ people and the genocides? What genocides? What genocides? I don't have, as for the LGBTQ people, I think they should have every right that we have. They need to have better protection because apparently we can't hold that end of it up. But, I just don't think that should play into your freedoms. The news is free, sweaty. It's sweetie. Oh, I can see that you are definitely under the age of 20, at least. And I said what I said. Are you deaf? I literally said they should have more safety because they are under more danger. Sweaty. Oh. Okay. You got me there. Are you deaf? Yes. My bad. So, LGBTQ should have higher safety because they are victimized more and they're not protected as they should be. They should be able to come and go like everybody else in the country, and they can't. So that's my thing, is how do we make that stop? We got to stop them. If it's equal rights, then they should be able to walk around safer. The same thing for indigenous women, you know. That was awesome. Are you deaf? Yes. My bad. You got me on that one. That was great. I was trying to be a smart ass. It backfired. I'm going to have to make a post about that one. Dude, man, we effed Native Americans to this day. Like, they ain't called a break since we got here. Well, they ain't got a break since 1492. It's crazy. Do you know how many people? Do you know how many millions and millions, and I mean millions, of Americans have no idea the state of reservations in this country? Do you know how many millions and millions and millions of Americans think that all Native Americans have a casino? I'm not kidding, y'all. I'm being serious. Yes, it's me. I just don't have my teeth in. It's me. It's me. I don't have my teeth in. Yeah, they have no idea. They have no idea. They just think y'all out here living your best life, running off of casino money. I'm not exaggerating either. That's crazy. What's up, Britt? Britt. I'm fixing to get off here. I was just messing with some flowers to make my glamour oil. My fish is over here like, if you don't put some more water in here, I'm going to die. Cause you a brick. Cause you a brick. How? Yeah, it's my letting it all in now. My fish is like, bitch, I need water. The fuck? I don't breathe air. That counts as glamour, I swear. Allergies are my friends. Toosh. Alright. I'm gonna get off here now. Put some water in my fish tank before he cusses me out. Alright, everyone. Bye-bye.